5 individuals sustained injuries this morning when the roof of Stabroek Market wharf suddenly collapsed, prompting an immediate halt to vending activities in the vicinity. Emergency responders, including firefighters, rushed to the scene after witnesses heard a loud cracking sound followed by the structure collapsing. The affected area, near the market's meat section and back entrance, has been cordoned off for safety. Government officials, including President Dr. Irfan Ali, visited to assess the situation. Efforts are underway to clear the area and prevent further use until repairs are completed, with collaboration between the Ministry of Public Works and the Mayor and City Council. Safety concerns, including the risk of fire, have been raised, highlighting the need for immediate action. The Public Procurement Commission has found irregularities in the award of an $870 million pump station contract to Tepui Incorporated. Managed by social media personality Mikhail Rodriguez, aka the Guyanese Critic, the company faced criticism for its lack of experience and deviation from bid requirements. Opposition MP David Patterson's complaint triggered the investigation, revealing discrepancies in Tepui's claimed project experience and financial documentation. The commission found Tepui's claimed experience in similar projects to be misleading, as none had been completed despite their submission as references. Tepui's reliance on non-financial entities for credit and bid bonds raised further concerns, as did their failure to submit financial statements and equipment ownership evidence. Despite these findings, the Procurement Commission say it lacks the authority to revoke the contract, prompting calls for stricter procurement oversight. Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh acknowledged the report's release and pledged to consider its recommendations for future contracts. Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force on Tuesday initiated a joint operation in Georgetown called Eye in the Sky. This operation involves the use of drones, which may be seen flying low in some areas. Members of the public are advised not to be alarmed. Eye in the Sky will run for 1 month. During this time, there will be an increased police presence. Roadblocks, stop and search, traffic enforcement, roving patrols, and raids will be conducted. There will be motorcycle and bicycle campaigns, roadblock operations, cordons and searches, and the execution of warrants. Members of the public are asked to give full support and cooperation to the joint services. Reports out of Suriname indicate that 2 Guyanese men were shot dead in the capital, Paramaribo, in the wee hours of this morning. The 2 men were identified as Jeremiah Smith and Oswick Brasilio. They are known characters to the police in Guyana. According to Waterkant, the 2 men were chilling on the street in Paramaribo North around 2:30 hours when 2 men on a moped stopped and fired machine guns in their direction. One of the victims ran into a gutter to escape the hail of bullets, but to no avail. After the shooting, the gunmen drove away in an unknown direction. There is still no trace of the shooters. The case has been transferred to the Capital Crimes Department of the Surinamese Police. Guyana's real GDP is expected to grow by 33.9% this year, as per IMF estimates. This is a significant jump from its previous projection of 26.6%. The upward revision is primarily due to the massive oil finds offshore, which are contributing to the high economic growth rates expected in Guyana. Additionally, the report acknowledges that there has been strong output growth in the oil sector from Guyana and the United States, as well as Brazil. Overall, IMF projects that Guyana's real GDP will continue to grow at a relatively stable rate of 18.7% next year and 11.9% by 2029. Tourism Minister Onij Walron recently boasted at the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent about Guyana's investments in Afro-Guyanese communities. However, Attorney-at-Law Nigel Hughes, speaking for the local International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, contradicted this, highlighting ongoing discrimination against Afro-Guyanese. Hughes emphasized systemic discrimination against Afro-Guyanese and lamented the government's disregard for UN calls to address it. He accused the government of defunding International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana without justification and neglecting the contributions of Afro-Guyanese. Despite claims of equality, Hughes argued that many Afro-Guyanese face exclusion and discrimination. The Guyana government delegation sought to respond but was denied the opportunity by the UN body. That wraps up today's top headlines. For more details on these and other stories, click the link in the description to follow Guyana Uncut News on Telegram. I'm Noriko Bulford saying, good night, folks.